Good
Hi,
evening, Dr.
hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, loud and clear. When you're ready, please. Floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. So happy to have you all join this session. Can you all confirm that you can see me and you can hear me? Thank you so much for joining. I'm hoping to keep this session to an hour. But yeah, really excited to have everyone join the call. Only one person said good evening. Or is it good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are or wherever neck of the woods you are? Um, can't see me. Oh, fantastic, Emma. Thank you so much. Okay, so how are we all doing? I hope we've all had an amazing day. I know for some of you, you've done your 9 to 5, you're tired. I know for some of you, perhaps you're going to go to work later on, or maybe you're working and you're joining the session. So I'm really hoping to keep the session short, sweet, and straight to the point. Today is all about project management and business analysis and everything that you need to know and do in order to get your success story this year. For many of you, you're not sure, you've been thinking about it. There's so much information flying everywhere on social media. And today, what I really want to do is just break it down in very simple language. Now, you will notice that you are all muted. That is to ensure that there's no background noise. However, if you have any question or any comment, as long as it's a nice comment, please drop it in the chat. No question is a silly question. Whether you join us tonight or not, we want to make sure that you understand everything on this call. So are we ready, guys? Give me a yes or a no, and let's get the show started. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so next slide, Mohammed, when you're ready. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's have a look at why you are not yet a project manager or business analyst. And I wanted to throw it out to all of you on the call. So what is the reason for you not getting your success story just yet? Is it imposter syndrome? Is it lack of confidence? Is it lack of the experience? Is it because you've been procrastinating for many, many years and months and you're like, should I join TriTech or should I get into tech, but you're not sure? Do you think that perhaps it's your accent, or do you think perhaps you don't have any experience, you never went to school, you didn't study anything? How am I now going to get into tech? So I really want to have a feel from everyone on the call. Do not be shy. Like I said, I want us to be as open and honest as we can be. So I've talked about imposter syndrome, procrastination, lack of confidence, no experience. Maybe you've done training before and it just wasn't time, or you didn't understand it. Is it information overload? So for some of you, you're jumping from one session to another session and you're hearing about Agile and Scrum and AI, and then trying to put it all together gets very, very confusing, right? Someone said indecisions, absolutely. Olumoyiwa said my Nigerian accent is too thick. Oh, bless you. Guess what? That is not a barrier to you getting your success story. Or is it age? Maybe you think I'm too old, I'm too young. I didn't go to school. I don't speak the way that the techies speak. So how am I now going to do this? So let me know in the chat, and then we will have a discussion about it. All right, so I'm going to read some of the comments that we've got on here. Uh, Computer illiterate, no experience, lack of experience, funds, lack of experience and procrastination, all of the things that I've listed. Transparency, and I think that's really important. I don't know where to start. Okay, so thank you so much for your honesty, and I'm very, very hopeful that after this session, you will get all the information that you need, from fear to procrastination to the lack of funds to the lack of experience. And as someone mentioned, transparency. And that is one thing that I'm very, very particular about within TriTech Academy. Next slide, please, when you're ready, Mohammed. Okay, so some of you have mentioned many reasons why, you've not yet transitioned into tech, but I've broken them down into different sections. So we've got fears. And that could be fear of the unknown. You're scared of the competition. So for many of you, perhaps you're thinking, oh, tech is saturated. There's no more jobs in tech. People are saying that there's no jobs. So raise your hand if you're in that category. Perhaps you're chatting with a friend or a work colleague and they're telling you everybody's getting into tech or all our people are getting into tech. There's no jobs out there. Some of you think you're too old, and of course, imposter syndrome. And then we have another section, lack of a career strategy. So you don't really know what to do. You're not really sure on who to speak to. There's so much information flying everywhere, and you really just want to understand the how and the why in regards to how to transition. For some of you, like some of you have honestly said, you think that tech is expensive. Maybe you're thinking £1,000, £1,500, etc. Another reason could be lack of training or experience. Or maybe some of you, you've gone onto YouTube and then you just want to quickly write your CV and then just jump all the hurdles and get your success story without going through a proper program that is going to give you the support that you need. Or maybe you don't have the right experience. Maybe you don't have the technical skills because you think that I need to know Excel, I need to know coding, I need to be super techie to get into tech, right? So that could be another reason. And then we have personal commitments, family commitments. You don't have the time. You're doing shift work. You're going to school. How are you now going to juggle the training and the experience when you're already feeling overwhelmed in your day-to-day jobs that you're doing? So if this is you, let me know in the chat where you fit in. Is it the fear? Is it zero career strategy? Is it thinking that tech is too expensive? Is it poor training or personal commitments? So what is your number one barrier from what we've talked about right now that is preventing you from making that all important decision? And like I said to you, let's be as open and honest as we can be. Personal commitments. And I think sometimes we need to understand that the journey, I'm going to break down the journey in regards to how we do it in TriTech, but I need you to understand that it's going to take a lot of sacrifice. It's not going to be a walk in the park. You're working, you've got children, you've got families, you've got a business to run, and then you have to sacrifice the time to do the training as well. So it's about having a healthy balance. But worry not and fret not. I am going to make this very easy for you and really break down how you can transition into tech with TriTech Academy, taking into consideration the fears, the lack of experience, the personal commitments, insufficient training, confidence factors, imposter syndrome, and many, many other things that we've mentioned so far. So let's have a look at the next slide. So, all about, I think you meant to say all about the money. Okay. So, I want to explain why I think you should transition into tech. For me, number one, financial growth and freedom. So put your hands up or just give me a yes if you love money. I'm not saying that you have to be absolutely obsessed with money, but put your hands up if you know what, if I have money coming in, my life is going to be easy. I can live the soft life that I want to live. I can go on holidays. I can go to Dubai, just take my laptop and work anywhere in the world. I can afford to take my families on holidays. I can help my generations to come. And how many of you on this call have family and friends already in tech? So if you know that you've got family and friends already in tech, just let me know. And I'm sure you will agree with me that they're living a good life. They look good. The car looks good. The house looks good. They're going on holidays. So Deirdre said, tech family, they look good. And money, whether we like it or not, is good. So the main reason, or most important reason, why you need to transition into tech is for financial freedom. Money is important. We're not preaching to say that money is everything, but it's really, really important. And that will link to the second point, work-life balance. There are many of you on this call that are doing shift work. So if you're doing a shift pattern, say 10 a.m. to 10 a.m., midnight to midnight, make yourself known in the chat. So how many of you on the call, you are doing back-to-back shift work? That is the only way you can pay your bills. That is the only way that you can make ends meet. So you're working around the clock. And it's not as if when you're doing this, your bank account is smiling. So let me know in the chat, and also let me know the hours that you do. Work-life balance is really, really important. Imagine you, for example, doing a couple of hours, your 9 to 5, where you don't even need to leave your house. I will tell you that this is the first time that I've come into the office this week. I just worked from home. I've done what I need to do with my kids. I'm able to see my kids. And that is what work-life balance is all about. So some of you are doing 12-hour shifts, etc., etc. In the tech space, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. There will be times, for example, where there will be challenges and you might have to work around the clock. However, how amazing would it be if you're working a hybrid pattern where perhaps you're just doing 2 days in the office, 3 days working from home, and you can work anywhere in the world? So that is another reason why you should make that decision today. Someone said that they do 71 hours weekly sometimes. That is crazy. Wow, wow. Okay, why else should you transition into tech? Opportunities. The opportunities are endless. One thing that I personally love about tech is the fact that it's not monotonous. You're not doing the same thing every single day. Every day you're learning something new. And I love the fact that you can grow within the tech space. So what I mean is that you can start off with a very low level role. And then when you're tired of that role, you can move into something else. So for example, I might decide, you know what, I'm a project manager, do it for a couple of months. After that, move into the role of a BA. After that, move into the role of agile, and you will find that the growth is very, very quick. And that will link into another reason, continuous professional improvement. You will find that the moment you get your foot in the door, it's very easy for you to grow and develop yourself. So you're constantly developing yourself. I remember many years ago, and I'm going to share my story very, very quickly at some point. I transitioned into tech in 2014. Yes, 2014. So I've been doing this for over 10 years. Yes. Back then, it was all about Prince 2. And now we have Agile. And now we have cybersecurity. And now we have AI. And that's the interesting thing about tech. It's constantly evolving. It's very innovative. And therefore, you're learning something new every single day. And another reason is the global opportunities. How would you feel, for example, if you got a success story in Dubai, or you were told to move to America, or you were told to move to, I don't know, Doha, and you've got this amazing role, or perhaps you're staying in the UK and you're working for an international company. And that is the beauty of tech as well. Some people do not need to leave their homes at all. They literally stay in their house working for international organizations. So, which of these appeals to you? So we've talked about financial growth, we've talked about work-life balance, global opportunities, continuous professional development, and constantly updating yourself. So out of all of these, which one would you say really, really relates to you? All of them. Okay. Fantastic, fantastic. All of the above. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. All right, let's have a look at the next slide. So, how do you get into tech, especially when you have no coding experience, especially where perhaps someone talks about their accent, somebody talked about no experience, somebody talked about perhaps they have no degree and they have no knowledge, and then they're thinking, how am I going to do this? Let's have a look at the next slide. So, this is me, and I'm going to share my journey, and hopefully, some of you can relate to my story. So, my name is Dr. Adishola Cole, and I am the CEO of TriTech Academy. Next slide, please, Mohammed. Thank you. So, a little bit about myself. I was born in Hackney, and then I lived with my foster parents in Birmingham up until the age of 11. So, I was a very rebellious child back in the day. So at the age of 11, my parents decided to take me to Nigeria. So when I went to Nigeria, I continued my secondary education. I went to Ifako International. After I completed my secondary education, I then went to Lagos State University, otherwise known as LASU, and I studied literature in English. Are there any LASUites on the call? Greatest LASUite, great. Anyway, as soon as I was done with my dissertation, I was ready to come back to the UK. So I presented my dissertation, and then 2 days after, I just wanted to come back home. I was done. I was done with Nigeria, and I was done with LASU, because LASU at that time, there was a lot of cultism, etc., etc., etc. Anyway, so I came back to the UK, and great. So I came back to the UK and I did a lot of odd jobs that some of you are perhaps doing at the moment. So I used to work as a cleaner in hotels. So I used to work for the Hilton Hotel, the Savoy Hotel, as a chambermaid. So I will be the one that will knock on your door and say housekeeping. I did this for a number of years, cleaning about 10 to 15 rooms a day. And then from there, I moved into working in a bakery in Stamford Hill. So if anybody is familiar with Hackney, there's a Jewish bakery in Stamford Hill, and I used to work there selling cakes and donuts and pancakes and everything else in between. And then from there, I found my way in the bank, and I used to work for NatWest Bank. I was in NatWest Bank for a good 10 years. I started, yes, Hackney, I'm a Hackney girl. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So in the bank, I used to be a cashier, and then I was a sales advisor. So I moved up the ladder to the role of sales. And that was predominantly selling loans and credit cards and mortgages and home insurance and life insurance. I can sell. Give me anything to sell, I will sell it. Give me a dead body, I will give me anything, I will sell. And I think that's something that's probably still with me till this very day. Right? So I was a top seller within the bank. And then they gave me this promotion as a bank manager. And the name sounds really glamorous, right? When they're saying, what do you do? And you're like, I'm a bank manager. But it was a bank manager that was just a title. The pressure was a lot. It was predominantly sales. And one thing that I absolutely could not stand was the fact that I knew that I had a lot to offer. I knew that I had a lot of ideas. I knew that, give me anything and I will be at the top. But they were just shutting me out every single time. So how many of you feel like that right now? You know, when you have a voice, when you have so much ideas, but they shut you out because maybe your face does not fit. That was me. I got into work every single day. I was miserable. I was grumpy. I will fight you. I will challenge you because I was unhappy. And then what happens? You start calling in sick. You just get miserable, and then you become that stereotypical Black woman that challenges everything. So this was me. And every day I will go home moaning and complaining to my partner or my friends. So how many of you do that? You get home and you just moan and you just complain and you're just moaning and moaning and moaning over and over again. That was me. And then I spoke to a friend of mine. This was a good 11 years ago. And I was like, I'm tired, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, why don't you try tech? At that point in time, I was thinking the only thing I could think about was Prince 2. So I bought the Prince 2 book and I started to read it, but it wasn't making sense. I was seeing principles and this and that, and I was trying to put it in my head and it wasn't making any sense. So I found a tech company similar to what I now run. And I joined that tech company and I was able to get my success story within 4 months. So I told myself that I wanted to leave the bank within 3 months, but I was able to do it within 4 months. So that was my journey. Now, the genesis of TriTech. Now, I was pregnant with baby number 3 in March 2017. So we're actually going to be 8 years next month. I have 3 amazing children, just by the way. So in March 2017, I still stayed within this company where I got my success story. And I stayed on as a mentor. And that's when I really realized that actually I'm enjoying this, right? It felt really, really cool. I would mentor people within that company and they were getting their success stories back to back to back. So that's when I realized that I had a passion for mentorship. So in March 2017, I was pregnant with baby number 3. And I just thought to myself, do you know what? Let me just create this little company just to get me by. It's going to pay my bills. I'm going to be on maternity, etc., etc. I kid you not, I didn't really have a vision or goal of how big or impactful TriTech was going to be. I just thought, you know what, let me just try whether it works or not. At least I've tried. And I remember that we had just 2 candidates on the platform in Tottenham. But roll on 2025, we have over 5,000 candidates on the platform and over 3,000 success stories spanning over 8 years. And this was all because I realized later on that I had something that I really enjoyed doing. And then I thought to myself, I want to create this company, and I decided to go ahead with it. And I never ever imagined that it would turn out the way that it has. So that was how TriTech was created in March 2017. And these are some of the achievements that we have achieved over the years. Top 100 influential global voices in Africa 2024. Top 100 impactful people in Africa 2023. Also in 2023, we were featured in Forbes Africa. I also won a Global Excellence Outstanding Woman in Tech Award 2023, African Achievers Legacy Award at the House of Parliament 2022. Emerging CEO of the Year 2022, Rotary Recognition Awards 2022, Woman of the Year 2022, a recipient of the Award for Youth Empowerment 2020, Woman of the Year in 2018, and Mentor of the Year within that company where I was mentoring in 2016. Let's have a look at the next line. Thank you so much. Thank you. Some more achievements. Last year, we were invited to the House of Parliament to deliver some digital skills training. So I had to deliver some training on AI and cybersecurity. So you can see some pictures of me on the left, always the shortest, and some pictures of me on the right, again, always the shortest. But yeah, House of Parliament, that was really, really amazing. And also just this year, TriTech Consulting was recognized as the top 20 Black-owned businesses in the UK, as recognized by Channel 4 TV and Lloyds Bank. So this was all from me feeling frustrated, moaning and complaining, people shutting me out and not giving me a voice. And I did something about it. I decided and I knew that I could do better and I wanted to do better. And I left the bank, and honestly, it's been a dream come true ever since. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so most importantly, let's forget about me, but let's talk about the candidates. Are there any of you on the call that perhaps you know people that have gotten their success story in TriTech? Please let me know. But this is something that I'm really, really, really excited about. So if you go on our Instagram page right now, at TriTech Academy, you will see a lot of success stories. There are videos, there are pictures, testimonials upon testimonials of candidates who have come through our doors and they're able to get their success story from having no experience, from working in the care industry, from working as a nurse, from coming from Nigeria on perhaps a care sponsorship, and they're able to turn things around. And someone just said, I know someone undergoing the training from Christmas and she recommended you. Fantastic. So I would say that 70% of our candidates do get their success stories within 4 months. But I like to be as open and honest as I can be. In TriTech, we do not guarantee you a job. For me, I don't like to give people false hope. So I'm not going to deceive you and say, yeah, join us and you're going to get your success story. What I can guarantee, however, is a program that works, but you need to make those sacrifices. You need to make that personal commitment. It's not going to be easy. You need to be as determined as you can be. And if you are, then absolutely, by all means, you can get your success story. So is everybody clear on that? It takes commitment, it takes passion, it takes drive, and most importantly, you need to be hungry for this. If you're hungry for this, then you will get it. So I just like to say that. Okay, next slide, please. So the great thing about tech is that there are many opportunities out there. So for many of you on this call, you probably think it's just about being a project manager or a business analyst. And the truth of the matter is, when you do this training, there are many roles that you can go for, and not just the role of a project manager or a business analyst. So, for example, you could be a PMO analyst. A PMO analyst stands for a program management officer, and your job is more about governance. It's all about making sure that there are standards in place, and you're more or less like a police officer, making sure that everybody is dotting their I's and crossing their T's. You could also be a continuous improvement manager or process improvement analyst. And your job is to come into a business and suggest ways in which they can improve their processes or the way that they do things. Or you could decide, if you don't want to be a business analyst or a project manager, to be a change manager. Nobody likes change in an organization. We know that when we introduce new things, people get scared, they tend to rebel, and they tend to challenge those changes. So as a change manager, your job is to come in and get people excited about that change. Or you might decide, you know what, right now, I have no experience. I need to boost that confidence within myself. And therefore, I'm not ready to be just a project manager or business analyst just yet. I want to take baby steps. Therefore, start really low, boost that confidence within myself, and then take it from there. And therefore, you could be a project coordinator, which is very similar to what Mohammed is doing right now, helping me facilitate the meeting, creating PowerPoint slides. Maybe there's a meeting where you need to take minutes and distribute it to your stakeholders, and so on and so forth. Or you could be a project planner, where essentially your job is to manage the budget and the resources within the project so that the project manager can manage the people within the project itself. So let me know in the chat, are there any of these roles that stand out to you? So apart from the project manager or the BA role, or if you're adamant that you want to be a PM or a BA, just put it in the chat. That's absolutely fine. But I've talked about a PMO analyst. I've talked about a change manager. I've talked about continuous improvement, project coordinators, project planners, and there are many other roles out there. And that is the beauty of tech itself. Okay, next slide. Okay, so what we've done here is we've broken it down into 3 different sections. I would say that the core roles in tech are the project manager role, the business analyst role, or the PMO analyst role. Okay, so what does a project manager do essentially? I like to say one thing about the PM. It's your name that is on the door. So how many of you have heard that before when they say your name is on the door? So that means that you have a huge level of responsibility and accountability within the project. You are responsible and accountable for the success of the project. So your job is to ensure that everybody is doing what they need to do within the project itself. So you're managing the resources, you're managing the budget, you're managing the timeline, and you're also managing people. And when we talk about people, we're talking about managing the BAs, we're talking about managing the PMO analysts, we're talking about managing the agile coaches, the software developers. You will have to manage people that perhaps are more knowledgeable than you. You will have to manage people that perhaps have more experience than you. But your job is to manage, monitor, control, and oversee what everyone is doing. I always say essentially that anyone can be a project manager. If you're managing your family, or you're managing a ladies' night out, or a guy's night out, or you're managing a birthday party, or you're planning a holiday, all those little things, essentially, that is what project management is all about. You've got a budget, you've got a timeline, and you're really ensuring that everybody is doing what they need to do. And another thing that's really important about this role is quality. Whether the aim of your project is to build a house, or to build an app, or to build a website, you must ensure that it's quality at the end of the day. So for this type of role, who is most suitable to transition into the role of a PM? I would say essentially if you are a doctor or a nurse or a teacher or a sales manager, a delivery manager, you've got retail experience, even if you're a care worker or a chef, you can go for the role of a project manager. So if you are doing any of these roles that I have mentioned, just give me a hi in the chat or make known that role in particular. So are there any doctors, nurses, teachers, sales managers, delivery managers, or you're a team lead, perhaps you're just managing a small team, retail experience, you're working in a shop, you're working in a store where you have to manage and oversee people, or you're a chef in the kitchen, then the role of the project manager is a fantastic role for you. So what does the business analyst do? Now, the project manager is all about managing, monitoring, controlling, and keeping an eye on everyone, ensuring they're doing what they need to do. The business analyst job is now to identify the why. So you've told us that you want to build this house, and that is what your project is all about. My job as a business analyst is to understand the why. Why do you want to build this house? What is the reason for this house? So my job is all about investigating the problem. So I'm asking a lot of questions to really understand what my client wants for this house. How many bedrooms, for example? What is the location of this house? Do you want a swimming pool? Are you moving because you want to sell the house? Are you moving because of the children? Are you moving? What is the reason? So the BA's job is to understand the why, the when, the what, and the how. A lot of what you're doing is asking questions, otherwise known as requirement gathering. And you're asking these open-ended questions in order to gather that data and then come up with a solution on the right way forward. Does everybody understand that? So as a business analyst, you're identifying the problem, investigating that problem, and then gathering that information from the client based on the questions that you ask, putting that information together, and then proposing the right solution. So as a business analyst, your job is all about identifying the problems and coming up with the solution. And this is where you work closely with the project manager. So whilst the project manager is identifying or managing the project, your job is to come up with the solution and align with the project manager. So this role is great if you're an engineer, a doctor or a nurse, an accountant, a financial advisor, a scientist, a lecturer, or even a professor. So do we have any engineers, doctors, nurses, financial advisors, scientists, lecturers, or professors on the call? Make yourselves known. Architect, financial advisor, accountant. Amazing. Okay, and then we have another role, a PMO analyst. As a PMO analyst, you are not the project manager and you are not the business analyst. Your job is more strategy. So you're working behind the scenes, ensuring that there is structure, ensuring that there are standards in place within the project, making sure that compliance and governance processes are being adhered to by everybody within the team. So this role is really, really good if you have strong administrative skills. You're very good with data, you're very structured, you're very organized, you like things done a certain way, you have good attention to detail. So it's very easy for you to recognize any mistakes. So as the PMO analyst, you're all about structure, organization, making sure that everyone is dotting their I's and crossing their T's, and you're like a police officer. So you're scouting, you're looking for mistakes, and you're giving people a slap on the wrist for not adhering to correction. So essentially, this role is good if you come from a HR background, a legal background, you're a care worker, again, quality assurance, PPI, and any compliance role. So do we have any of you on the call? Care worker, anyone from HR? Anyone from HR, care, okay. Any lawyers? Any lawyers on the call? Compliance? Anyone come from the banking industry? Fantastic. Now, this is just a guide. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go for the role that we have recommended. For some of you, for example, you might decide, you know what, I'm interested in everything. I want the PM, I want the BA, I want the PMO. Just give me a little bit of everything. So if you fall into that category, let me know. You just want to learn everything and then you will make your decisions. So if you fall into that category, do let me know. You don't want to be restricted. You want to learn the PM, the BA, the PMO, Chinese buffet, a little bit of everything. Just give me everything and then I'll go with the flow. All inclusive. Exactly. Let's have a look at the next slide. So, $1 million question, how do you transition? And I think this is really, really important. Really identifying the how. How do you do this? For many of you, for example, you've mentioned you have no experience, you're coming from a completely different background, and you really need to understand the how. How do I do this? So I've broken this down into 5 simple steps. Step 1 is identifying that role that is ideal for you. And in order for you to identify what role you want to focus on, you really need to understand your skill set. What kind of person am I? What are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? So again, I will hit the nail on the head. First and foremost, tech is not for everybody. And I just like to be as honest as I can be. And if you're truly passionate about it, then so be it. You want to be a project manager, for example, but you don't like people and you don't like talking and you don't like presentations and you're an introvert and you don't like conflict and you run away from conflict and you want to be a project manager. You want to be a business analyst, for example, and you don't like talking too much. You like to mind your business. You don't like asking questions. How are you then going to do that role? Or you want to be a PMO analyst and you don't have the patience to be looking at data, or you don't have the patience to be going through things and scrutinizing everything. You just want to go with the flow. How are you going to do that role? So number one is really, really important. What kind of person am I? What do I like? And what do I not like? Thank you, Richard. It's not for everyone. And thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's why we do these sessions, so that you're not wasting your time and you're not wasting our time. So like I was saying, you want to be a project manager and you really need to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. So for you to excel in the role of a project manager, you need to be a talker. You need to be a people person. People will annoy you. People will frustrate you, and you need to smile and use your emotional intelligence skills and just act like everything is okay. Sometimes you will have senior stakeholders that you can never seem to get into meetings. They have what we call an ego, and then you need to humble yourself and massage their ego to get them to attend meetings. It's a little bit about politics. It's about politics. It's about playing the game. So number one is really important. Who am I? What are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? I don't like people. So therefore, maybe I'm better off doing the role of a PMO analyst or a project coordinator, where I just work behind the scenes doing what I need to do. So does everybody understand step one? Identifying who you are, identifying your strengths, your weaknesses, your skill set, and your personality. That's number one. Then number two, once you've identified that tech is for you and you've identified the role that you want to focus on, then you can come to step two, your unique selling point. Now, I'll be totally honest with you. Tech is saturated right now. However, it doesn't mean that you cannot get hired. Every single day, we have success stories in TriTech. So far this year, we have 30 confirmed success stories. Now, it doesn't mean that there won't be challenges when you're going for the interviews, and maybe you have 100 people applying for just one role. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that you cannot and you do not try. So, what is going to make you stand out from the competition? So rather than you thinking, oh, it's competitive, there's competition, everybody is applying for the same things, but what about those people that apply and get the job? So number two is really identifying your unique selling point. What is going to wow them at the interview? What is going to wow them on your CV? Is it the years of experience that you have back home? So many of you, for example, back home, you had really good jobs. So how many of you can relate? You left everything and you came to the UK. Maybe you were a director, a senior manager, CEOs, etc., etc. It doesn't mean that you leave all of those skills behind and then you just come to the UK and you abandon everything. No, even the skills that you have from back home, put it on your CV. If you've worked as a director, a CEO, you've been a senior manager, senior banker, do not neglect those skills. Refine your CV and include it on there. So identifying what is going to make you stand out from the competition. Now, if I was to ask you right now, what is the biggest trend in tech right now? So it's all around us. You go on social media, you log into the news, you listen to the news, you go on your AI. AI is all around us. So therefore, knowing that that is the biggest trend right now, what you now need to do is work on AI, because we know that it's hot. It's hotter than, forget your Agile, your Prince 2, and all the other things that are out there. Artificial intelligence is huge. So therefore, what you need to do is hop on that trend and then combine it with your PM and your BA experience. So step 2 is identifying what will make you stand out from the crowd. So for myself, I will talk about my awards. I will talk about my accomplishments. I will talk about my achievements. I will talk about, things that I'm passionate about that sets me apart from the competition. You cannot be average, saying exactly what everyone is saying and doing exactly what everybody is doing. It's not going to help you. And then we go to step 3, leveraging off the skills and experience that you have. And I will go back to the point that I made. Do not abandon years of experience that you had in Ghana or Nigeria or South Africa or France, you name it. So for example, for myself, I worked in the bank. It wasn't tech, but when I was ready to transition, I put that banking experience on my CV and I was able to get my success story. So it's very important that you think about your current skill set. There are many of you on this call that perhaps you're working in care. So if you're in the care industry, let me know. So you're working in care and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm just a care support worker. I'm just a support worker. But hold on a minute. There are aspects of care and support that you can bring into tech. You're managing people. You're dealing with difficult and challenging situations. You're dealing with difficult and challenging people. You have to do risk assessments. There are certain compliance initiatives that you need to adhere to. You can bring some of those skill sets, you can bring some of that experience into the tech space. Or perhaps you're working in the bank, you're dealing with people, you have to sell. You have to ensure that before you give people their money, you need to check their ID, you need to check their proof of address. That is compliance, that is governance. Again, bringing that skill set into the tech industry. You're a chef working in the kitchen. That is super tedious. You need to keep an eye on the other chefs working in the kitchen. That is project management. You need to make sure that the order, the menu is of high quality because you don't want any complaints. That is compliance right there. That is governance right there. That is keeping your stakeholders happy right there. So every single one of you on this call, regardless of what you're doing right now, you have some sort of skill that you can bring into the tech space. Is everybody clear on that, please? So whether you're a nurse, a doctor, an engineer, you're a teacher, you're a lawyer, you're a HR personnel, you're a care worker or just a support worker, you name it, there are aspects of tech that you can leverage on and bring into the tech space. And then once you've identified that, then you can go on LinkedIn and get your LinkedIn profile optimized. But the most important thing that you want to do is step 5. Join a training company like Try to Academy, where you're not just getting the training, but you're getting, it's one thing to get the job. Yes, some people are very good braggers. They can brag, they can talk the talk while the interviewer. And then when it's time for them to do the job, they don't know what they're doing. So in TriTech, it's very important that you get that theoretical training, but at the same time, you get the right experience that's going to put you ahead of the competition. So is everyone clear on steps 1 to 5 on the how? Transitioning into tech with no prior experience and no knowledge whatsoever. Fantastic. Let's have a look at the next slide. So how do you do that in TriTech? So we call our program the Elite Tech Training Program. And essentially, you're looking at, I would say, between 4 to 5 months. Now, you have 9 months on the program. So we give you 9 months access. But we would say that essentially give yourself between 1 to 5 months. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to wait 9 months to get your success story. Some people do get their success story within 3 months, but I am an advocate of taking your time, making sure that it really sinks in, and then, just understanding everything before you start applying for roles. Now, for some of you already, you might have a little bit of exposure. So I would say, okay, maybe 3 months. But for some of you that are completely new to this, I would say give yourself at least 4 to 5 months. Now, how does the program work in TriTech? We divide it into 3 stages: phase 1, 2, and 3. So phase 1 is the discovery phase. And when you join TriTech today, you would automatically fall into the discovery phase. Now, as the name implies, the discovery phase is all about you identifying where you fit in. So the first thing that you would do is a personality test and also a skills matrix test. And that is to help you identify your skill set and also what you should focus on based on the skills that you have already. In the discovery phase, this is where you would have your training. In TriTech, we train you in both project management and also business analysis. Any guesses why we do this? So when you join us, we train you in project management and also business analysis. And there's a reason why we do this. Any guesses in the chat? Why do you think we train you in both? So the industry is changing rapidly, competition. Um, some of you are not sure whether you're a PM or a BA or a PMO. So therefore, what we do is train you in everything. And then automatically, whether you're more of a PM or whether you're more of a BA or whether you just want to be hybrid. So you will find that the industry is changing rapidly and every company is looking to do what? Save money. So therefore, what they will do is hire somebody that has a skill set of both a PM and also a BA. So therefore, they can kill two stones with one, or two birds with one stone, rather. So what you'll find is with a lot of companies, they do what we call hybrid roles. So in TriTech, we train you in both project management and also business analysis. Also in the discovery phase, you would have your AI training. So this is something that we just introduced, I think last year, because we know that AI is the in thing right now. So we've added this to your curriculum. So the discovery phase is you doing your personality test, your skills matrix test, having your hybrid training in PM and BA, and also having your AI training. So that is phase 1. And then we go to phase 2, and that is the immersion phase. In this phase, that is where you would do your internship, working on real projects. We do not give you a mock project and we do not give you a case study. I'm sorry to say this, what are you going to learn in just 2 weeks? So therefore, we give you real work experience where you're working on a live project for about 2 to 3 months, collaborating and networking with people from different parts of the world. In the immersion phase, you would have what we call knowledge sharing sessions, otherwise known as KSS. And these are sessions that everybody joins in TriTech. In these sessions, you would also have your career coaching and your mentorship. So after you've done your work experience, you would move over to career coaches, and their job is to help you apply for jobs, help you deal with lack of confidence, imposter syndrome. They have a wealth of knowledge and experience within the HR sector. So their job is to get you ready for the job market. And then we go to step 3. and that is the acceleration phase. And this is where you start to apply for jobs. This is where you get your LinkedIn optimized within TriTech, so you get that included in your package. We also help you with your success story, because ultimately this is where you want to get your success story. Something that we've just launched is an AI app that can help you apply for jobs on LinkedIn, because we recognize that people are really, really busy and sometimes they don't even have the time to apply for jobs. So when you join us, you also have access to the AI app, and it would help you apply for jobs. So we can see that AI is just disruptive right now. So is everybody clear on the three phases? Discovery, immersion, and acceleration. Discovery is all about your training, identifying more about yourself, having your AI training and your hybrid training. The second stage is immersion. That's your work experience, your internship, mentorship, and KSS sessions. And then the third stage is where you apply for jobs. We help you with career strategies, and hopefully you get your success story in this stage. Now, 9 months is, like I said, how long you have on the platform. But I'm really excited to announce something that I literally introduced just last week. Let's have a look. So we always like to get feedback from candidates. And one thing that we realized that was missing is the aftercare. And what I mean by this is, what happens if you don't get your success story in 9 months? What happens if, you've tried, you're getting rejection upon rejection, and then you have to leave TriTech? And I realized that there was a gap with this. So something that I just introduced is accountability, support, and coaching. So if you do not get your success story within 9 months, although for me personally, I would not expect you to be on the platform within 9 months or up to 9 months, right? But let's say peradventure you do not get your success story. We will continue to give you ongoing support until you do. Right? So this is something that we just introduced, where we would mentor you continuously even after your subscription is done after 9 months. So isn't that amazing, guys? Knowing that we're not just going to kick you off the platform and tell you, you know what, you've done your 9 months, you didn't get your success story, good riddance. So this is something that I introduced just last week based on the feedback that we were getting. So accountability support is continuous even after your 9 months is over, showing that we still want to help and support you in getting your success story. So this, I'm really excited about this. Next slide, please. This is another thing that we introduced last year. We recognize that we have many people that perhaps they're looking for COS, or they need, some sort of understanding about the immigration status. That is not my forte. I'm not really knowledgeable when it comes to, your switching of visas, etc., etc. So we have somebody that does sessions once a month within TriTech, and you can ask all the questions that you need to ask in regards to your status, switching COS, switching your visa, anything at all. So Sir Daberici is a member of our team as an immigration advisor. We have a session once a month. Everybody joins on Zoom, and it's an opportunity for you to ask any questions whatsoever. This is what he does. So he's not an influencer on social media, just no. This is what he does on a daily basis. So he knows his stuff, and he will advise you the right way. So I'm really, really happy about this initiative as well. Next slide. So these are the timetables. Because of time, I will not go through the timetables. But one thing I will mention is this. We have weekday training, and we also have weekend training. The weekday training, and admin, please correct me if I'm wrong, is now twice a week, I believe, or 3 times a week. One thing I will mention is that if you do the weekday training, it's a little bit more fast-paced. because you would do the training within the week. The training times are from, sorry, this is the weekend. Okay, let me look at the weekday very, very quickly and I'll come back to the weekend. Okay, so weekday training is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. for those of you that choose the weekday option. And then we have the weekend option. Let's have a look at the weekend option. So this is a timetable. Feel free to take a screenshot. The weekend training is on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And as you can see, this is your timetable. So, you know, when you go to university, what do? You download your timetable. That's exactly what you would do in TriTech. So if I was to throw this out, sorry, guys. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays for the weekday training, and weekend training is Saturdays only. So, guys, if you were to choose between the weekday or the weekend, which one would you go for? Weekday or weekend? Let me know in the chat, and then we'll go to the next slide. Weekend is Saturdays, weekdays in the week. Now, also, which is really amazing, next slide, please, is every live session that you have is recorded, right? So whether you do the weekday training or whether you do the weekend training and you miss that session or you're doing a shift work or whatever it is, these sessions are recorded and uploaded on our portal for 7 days. So immediately after you have your live training, that session is recorded and uploaded for you to watch. So perhaps you're not available for some of those days, or you've got an event or an Owambe. You know how it is, we're busy. But we make sure that every session is recorded and uploaded on our portal. And I'm going to show you our portal in a moment. And this is really beautiful, guys. So what do you think about this certificate? So this is what you get upon completion of the program. You get a certificate of completion. We are CPD certified. We're also part of the UK registered learning providers as well. So we are recognized for what we do. So it would have your name, the role that you did in TriTech, and the type of project that you worked on. And this is what you can, thank you so much. So this is what you can put on your WhatsApp, you know, bragging rights, basically to say, yes, I did the work. Here is the evidence. Isn't that fantastic? Let's have a look at the next slide very quickly. I think we're going to be done in about 10 minutes. Okay, so these are some of our alumni that got their success stories last year. If you spot anybody that you know, the new advisor is a good man. Oh, thank you so much. Do we have any success story speaker for the session, please?
Yes, we have one.
Okay.
Already on the call.
Okay, amazing, amazing. And then Mohammed, whilst he or she is speaking, straight to what's it called, TDL after, please.
Noted. Thank you.
So these are some of the candidates from last year that got their success story. And then we have somebody that's going to share their journey as well. Hello, good evening.
Steve,
And
when you're ready.
what's the name, Mohammed?
Stephen.
Okay, Stephen. Hi, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Mama Hawk. Happy
Hi.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
And
We
good evening,
can't
everyone.
see
My
you.
name is, can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what's up. Just a minute.
Thank you. Okay, we can see you now.
Yeah, you can, okay, thank you. So everyone, my name is Steve. I joined TriTech in 2023 after my master's. Basically, I joined from a recommendation from a Nigerian friend. I'm a Ghanaian. We all studied the same thing, but he was keeping class. So I was tapping his card for him. So we were watching each other's back. But basically, he mentioned this to me after our masters. We were all looking for a job. And he said, oh, I've done this. I'm doing this course. I think it's good. You should join. And so he joined TriTech, I think, earlier. So after TriTech, I think about 6 months, he got his success story. So I got more inspired. because I thought I could do it more. I already had a PM experience back from Ghana with a startup, so I thought, I mean, I have the experience, but it was a different ball game altogether. So I joined TriTech from like a fresher. I joined every session, all PM meetings, BA meetings, everything. I did everything. We were having meetings deep into the night, everything. I put all my all into it. And then after our training in 2020, early part of, I think, February 2024, I started doing job applications again. I've been applying for jobs since 2023, remember? And I finished my success story. I finished our training and then our practical in February 2024. So I've been applying till December 2024, and then I got my success story. So I started my job just last month. So that's my journey. My advice I will give is that it's not easy. Just psych your mind, but it is worth it. If you give your all, you put in all your effort, all your passion, and then you ask questions, reach out to people. If you don't understand anything, do research as well. You're gonna believe that you're gonna make it. So that's for me.
Stephen, what role did you get?
So I got a role as a product owner,
Oh,
actually.
wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
So yeah.
So you can see where I said that the training doesn't just subject you to the role of a PM or a BA, but in actual fact, there are many roles that you can go for after the training. And how are you finding the experience so far in the real world?
Yeah, so it's been challenging but also rewarding. Just the whole of this week I've been in Manchester for trainings and meetings and stuff like that. I just got back. I was actually on my train coming when one of the TriTech staff called me. He has already but he called me and I said, "Oh, are you?" I said, "Yeah, from my hawk, TriTech, everything I'm going to sacrifice and be
Thank
here."
you.
Yeah,
So very, very quickly, everybody wants to know, what does a product owner do?
Oh, okay. So a product owner is basically somebody who owns a product backlog. So he interface between the business and then the product team or the software engineers, those who do the actual coding to develop the product. So
So
my
you
main job is
represent the customer of what the customer really wants within that project.
yes. So you can say pseudo customer. That's the word I try to pseudo customer. So you are like a pseudo customer representing the needs and aspirations of the customer.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. All the best in your role, and let us know how you get on.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Do not worry, guys. For those of you that really want to understand what a product owner does, when you start your training in TriTech, all of these will be clearly explained. Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you for your time. So final thing that we're going to look at before we go into registration is our TDL platform. Mohammed, when you're ready. And I think we need to, yeah, thank you. Okay, so this is the final thing that we're going to talk about. When you join TriTech, you have access to something called TDL. Does anyone want to guess what TDL stands for? TDL. Any guesses? No? Okay. TriTech, okay. TriTech Digital, you're close. TriTech Digital Library. Okay, so we used to call it LMS, and then we had a bit of a revamp and we wanted to make it more personal to TriTech. So essentially, it's an LMS platform, but we now call it a library. Now, the library encompasses topics that are not included in your curriculum. And for me, TriTech is your go-to for anything that perhaps you're not understanding in your training. So, when you go to the library and you select any topic of your choice. TDL has videos on AI. TDL has videos on cybersecurity, not in your training. TDL has videos on emotional intelligence, not in your training. So it picks up topics that are going to help you along the way. Within TDL, you would also have your training materials. Mohammed, can you go to the dashboard? Thank you. So on here, you would have all your training materials. Remember that in TriTech, we help you optimize your LinkedIn. So when you're ready, you would click on that and then put in a request. On here, you would also have your timetables for your training, whether it's weekday or weekend. Also on here, because AI is the in thing, we've got Try AI and we've got Ask AI. Yeah. So Ask AI is basically, you know how you use ChatGPT. Yeah, Mohammed, correct me if I'm right or wrong. I think we just launched this a few days ago. So basically, you can ask it anything. So put in the chat, Mohammed, anything at all. What is a project? What is project management? And then you press enter, and then it comes up with, well, we're waiting. Okay, and there you go. So this was actually a project team that built this as part of their work experience. So embedded within your TDL platform is Try AI, where you can ask it anything, just like ChatGPT. But what I want us to very, very quickly focus on are the videos that you have. Now, we're not going to give you videos and tell you go and watch videos. As I've highlighted, you've got your timetable and you choose between your weekend and your weekday training. But I want to show you the type of topics that you have within TDL. So you have PM videos and you have BA videos. So it's up to you where you want to start. Bearing in mind, you have 9 months access. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the topics that we have under the PM videos. We've got videos on project governance, project planning, stakeholder management, change management, risk management is on here, digital project management, there's a lot of videos on agile, a lot of videos on that. Remember, you're still having your training, but this is just your library. We've got videos on first day on the job, a day in the life of a project manager. We've even got videos on confidence at work, emotional intelligence, quality management, effective communication skills, how to use PowerPoint is on here. Keep going because of time very, very quickly. Interview questions and answers, there's a lot of videos on that. How to attain visibility during your first few days at work. So this is another one, how to use ChatGPT. So you select any topic of your choice, you select it, and then you press play. And the good thing about TDL is that it's mobile responsive. So you can use it on your phone. You can download the app and then play it on your phone. So you select any topic of your choice, press play, and then you've got the mentor in the background and then your PowerPoint slide. Let's have a look at another topic within the PM section. So for example, landing a Tech Nation visa route or navigating the Tech Nation visa. Again, this is not in your training curriculum, but it's a topic that we know is suitable for some of you. So again, you press play and then you have the trainer in the background and the PowerPoint slide. So let's have a look at the BA videos very, very quickly. So again, on your BA section, rather, you've got requirement gathering, requirement elicitation, software testing videos on here as well. We've even got videos on Agile, GDPR, Scrum Master, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Cybersecurity, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4, again, outside of your learning curriculum. We've even got videos on how to be a great Scrum Master, the job application process. We've got videos on big data, robotic process automation, artificial intelligence is on here as well. In business intelligence, I can't read. Gosh, let me make this bigger. Business intelligence is on here as well. Keep going very quickly because of time. We've got videos on how to use tools, interview questions and answers, BA activities in an agile environment. And again, you would select any topic of your choice, anything that is appealing to you. And then you select the topic, and there you go. So does everybody understand how TDL works? So this is your library. This is your dictionary. Help me out, guys. How would you sum this up in just one word? So this is your go-to guide. That's not one word, by the way. It's your encyclopedia, it's your library, it's your dictionary, it's your resource center where there's so much information on here. And a lot of the success stories that we get are on the back of TDL. Okay, so for those of you that join us today, you will get access to TDL today. It's your dictionary and it's your Bible. So TDL is your go-to guide for everything that you need. So also we have the TriTech Academy graduation ceremony. So essentially when you have completed your program within TriTech and hopefully you get your certificate of completion, or just before you get that, we do a very quick graduation ceremony and we just celebrate the fact that you've completed the training and you've survived the work experience and you're ready to hit the job market. And like I mentioned, if you do not get your success story within 9 months, what do we have, guys? Who can remind me? So something that we just introduced. So let's say 9 months, didn't get your success story. We now have what? Come on, guys. I'm just testing you. Accountability coaching. Yeah, post-training support. Fantastic. And that is ongoing. So there's no time limit with that. Okay, let's have a look at the offer that we have on the table. Olushola, you get a certificate. I showed you the certificate. Remember the purple and white certificate. That's your certificate of completion. Okay, so we're now going to the juicy part, which is our discount and offer that we have for today. First and foremost, for those of you that sign up today, you get a free course in either cybersecurity, Microsoft, or UI UX design. So you get any of these courses for free. Cybersecurity is still hot in the market at the moment, so you can take that on. Or for those of you that don't know how to use Word, Excel, and can somebody respond to Itunu? Thank you. So for those of you that don't know how to use Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, maybe you would opt for the Microsoft Office training. And UI UX is for those of you that are very creative. In this course, you would learn how to design a website or design an app. So just out of curiosity, which of these courses would you select for free? Let me know in the chat. Is it cyber? Is it Microsoft? Or is it UI UX design? Let me know. Cyber. Oh, okay. Cyber. Cyber is winning. Okay. So you get this for free. So let's go to the juicy parts. So all you would need to do is when you register, let the admin team know your free selection, of course. Okay, so this is the discount that we have at the moment, and there is a special discount for those of you in care and support. So our course is typically £1,400, and we have discounted this to £489, and that includes everything that we've talked about today. Your PM training, your BA training, your AI training, your practical work experience, TDL, your mentorship, your career coaching, and post-training support if you need it, and also your LinkedIn optimization. So it's all included in your package. Isn't that amazing, guys? And let me just give you a breakdown of everything. So for £489, you would get project management training with BA training and AI included. Normally that's about £600. Then you would get your real practical experience. That in itself is about £1,000. Then you get your tools training, you get a free course in cyber, UI, or Microsoft. The TDL platform, the amount of information on there is second to none. And then you have the ChatGPT function within TDL itself. You've got your career coaching, your LinkedIn optimization. To optimize your LinkedIn is normally about £100 to £150. And yeah, so in a nutshell, £489 is what you get. Let me talk you through the payment options and then we will end the session. So the offer is for today for the free course. And it's got 20 slots on here, but I'm going to increase it to 30. So we have 30 slots available for the offer of 489. But let me talk you through the different payment plans that we have. So if you want full payment, it's 489. So 489 is full payment. And there are numbers on the screen. So you've got Adijoke or Esther. Alternatively, if you would rather a member of the team reach out to you and you're happy to do so, you can put your number in the chat and then a member of the team would call you. For full payment, we accept debit cards, credit cards, Amex, you name it, bank transfers, etc. So 489 is full payment. You just want to get it out of the way. If you would like to secure this offer, you can text Adijoke or Esther, or you can put your number in the chat. Let's have a look at installments. If you would rather have the installment option, then it would not be 489, it would be 550. But there are different payment options available. You can either use Klarna or ClearPay. So if you have a Klarna or ClearPay account, then you know how it works. You can split your payments into 3. Or you can use Tritech's Flex Plan, and therefore you can split the training into 2 payments. I think one payment, guys, can you just remind me of the payment plan for installments? 2 payments, just put it in the chat. Thank you. So you have the option of Klarna or ClearPay, or you can do FlexPay, where you can do 2 installments or 3 installments. However, to proceed with this, you would need to sign the direct debit mandate. We don't chase people to pay their balance. Everything nowadays is documented and automated. We're a tech company, so everything is automated. Okay, let's have a look at the next slide. And if you're in Nigeria or Ghana or Africa as a whole, then you have Divine or Anita, and you can text Divine, that is her number on the screen, or you can text Anita for the account details. So this is for those of you in Nigeria, Ghana, or Africa as a whole. If you're not based in the UK, so for example, you're based in, I don't know, America or Dubai or France, etc., you can still text the numbers on the screen. Yeah? Mohammed, can you go back, please? Oh, I actually just mentioned Dubai. How strange. Mohammed, can you go back? Thank you. So you can still text the numbers on the screen. Or alternatively, like I said, you can put your number in the chat and then a member of the team will reach out to you. So Klarna, David, it's between you and them, but I think Klarna is usually 3 installments. Okay. So whilst that is going on, how did we find today's session? We've actually ended the session, but I'm going to stay on for any last minute questions or comments or anything at all. But how did you find today's session? Please let me know in the chat. Thank you so much, Angel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And do follow us on Instagram if you're yet to do so, at TriTech Academy. Do follow us. You'll see everything that we do and everything that we get up to and all our success stories as well. So everything is on there. So full payment is 489. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, and that's the thing with tech, your eyesight. Oh my goodness. Is a certificate provided? Yes, so the certificate is a recognized certificate. Yeah, thank you. So installment option is not 489. 489 is full payment only, but you can use your credit card or your debit card, or you can do a transfer for full payment. Next session will be March. Yes, absolutely. We're going to cover Scrum and Agile in your training. Do not forget, no exams. There's nothing like you do an assessment, but no exams. Classes comments, admin, can you just put it in the chat so that they are aware? So remember, you've got the timetables. You've got the weekday timetable and the weekend timetable. Yes. So that is the weekday timetable, 4th of March. And then you have the weekend. So what would happen now is that you would get, Mohammed, can you go back to payment? You would get TDL access. So before you start your training, you will get access to TDL in preparation for the training that will be in March. I was actually thinking that March was, March is literally just next week. That's scary. So installment option, let's have a look. So remember, if you're doing installment, it's not 489. However, you can do Klarna, ClearPay, 2 installments or 3 installments. Okay. All of the sessions are on Zoom. Okay. So we do internship. Yes, Tony. So do I have, yes. So every session that you're trained on is recorded and uploaded on TDL. So remember I said to you, whether you do the weekday training or the weekend training, every session is recorded and uploaded on TDL for 7 days. Okay. So if you miss a class, it will be recorded. Internship is anything between 3 to 4 months. Sunday said, I got info on your YouTube. I already paid in full. So congratulations and welcome to the team or to the program, Sunday. No, you don't need to renew the certificate. After March, it would be April. Free. So don't forget your free cybersecurity course or UI, UX or Microsoft. So there's only 30 slots available. If you were to choose 2, so I want to be a little bit generous, right? So you have the option of choosing cybersecurity. What would be your second option? Let me know in the chat, and then the majority carries the votes. I want to just add something. Microsoft, okay? Let me wait for more people. So I know a lot of you have selected cybersecurity, but what would be your second option between Microsoft and UI UX? Oops. Let me see. Majority carries the vote. Keep voting. Keep voting. Microsoft. Ademola, that's cheating. We are not ready. Okay, so that will be next month. So a lot of you have selected cyber. And if you had a second option, what would it be between the 3 courses? Oh, it's close. Microsoft is winning. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. For those of you that sign up today, I'm going to give you cybersecurity and Microsoft Office training for free. So in actual fact, you're getting 2 courses or 4 courses actually for the price of 1. Because remember, you're getting your PM training, you're getting your BA training, then you're getting free cybersecurity and free Microsoft as well. So if I think I just saw that question. So yes, so you would actually get 2 free courses instead of 1 for those of you paying today. No one is saying thank you. Come on, guys. You're actually paying for 1 course and you're getting 4 free courses. Okay, you're very welcome. Thank you. Okay, so we've actually finished with the session, and we're going to end this session in just 1 minute. Next intake would be April. Zero knowledge in this, I would say just have an iPad. If you cannot afford an iPad, you can use your phone. Make sure you have data and you're good to go. I don't want cybersecurity. I just want Microsoft and UI UX. Okay, so what you do is select 2. So we don't make it complicated. Remember, you've got cyber, UI, UX, and Microsoft. So final call is choose any of the 2 out of 3, because I realize that some people might not want cybersecurity and so on and so forth. So you have the option of choosing 2, any 2 out of the 3. I think that's fair. Yeah? Are we clear on that, guys? Are we clear? Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're welcome. So just make sure that you let the team know, the admin team, on the free courses that you have selected. Okay, so installments offer is on the screen. You've got Shagun or Kenny, or you can drop your number in the chat and somebody will call you. iPhone Pro Max 14, what was your inquiry? Let me know. What's your inquiry? So full payment, 489. Next slide, Mohammed. Internship. Oh, I answered that question. Remember I said that internship is 3 to 4 months. I think that was the question, wasn't it? And then for those of you back home, it's going to be with selected coordination. Yes. So we have our own internal projects. TriTech Academy is your learning school. And then when it's time for you to do the work experience, that would be with another company under the umbrella of TriTech. Okay. That was another question. Yes, we've had Sampa, a few success stories of people, for example, based in Nigeria. They get sponsorship and then they're able to come to the UK and also America. So it's possible. Mohammed, can you rotate, please? Thank you. Yes, absolutely. The certificate can be used anywhere. But remember that in this industry right now, your experience is very, very important. In actual fact, more important than your certificate. You're welcome. Thank you. Any other questions? We're going to end this session in 50 seconds, right? Do drop your number in the chat for payment. The discount was for 20 people, but I've increased it to 30. Then you have 3 free courses in which you select 2. So you have cyber, UI, UX, and Microsoft. Sorry, it's been a long day. So you choose any of those 2 out of the 3. Don't forget that you have your PM training, your BA training, your AI training as well. And, you know, £489. I know what's in the market. I know what is out there. So I don't want to say that the package is affordable because I know some of you are struggling, but I think it's reasonable considering what you're getting. And yeah, just think about how this can potentially change your life. For those of you working in care or doing jobs that you don't like, you're constantly frustrated, now is the time to do what you need to do. We do have flexible payment options for those of you that cannot afford full payment. So do look into that as well. Tolu Wafe. So what happens is after the 30, then it goes to 1,400. That was a very clever question and I got you. But yes, it will carry on up until midnight, okay? So remember that we've made it easy as well. So if you cannot afford the full payment option, then we have the installment option where you can use Klarna or ClearPay, or you can do 2 payments or 3 payments, yeah? So there are many options available because we recognize that, you know, not everybody can afford the full amount. Okay, guys. Chidima, I would advise just drop your number in the chat and somebody would call you. Toluwafe, have you dropped your number in the chat? Don't forget there are numbers on the screen if you would rather somebody messages you or rather you message them instead, and they will get in contact with you. Details to pay in full. Let's go back. So full payment is 489. And like I said, you can use a debit card, credit card, or you can do a transfer. And that's for those of you who just want to get it out the way. Fair enough. 489 discounted from 1,400. TDL alone, there's a wealth of information on there. Don't forget, you've got your AI included in your training. And from today, you should all get your TDL access. So your TDL access is where you would log in, you would get your login details. You can log in immediately today and just play around with TDL. You will be added to a WhatsApp group so that you can begin to network and understand who is who within TriTech. Then we also have a welcome session where we welcome you to TriTech. That's a live session, and we introduce you to the team, myself, and everybody within the team. It's a very big team. Also from tomorrow, so for those of you registering today, from tomorrow, the customer excellence team will begin to call you just to find out how you're getting on. So it's something that we do, just making sure that you're happy, you've been able to onboard, and just making sure you're ready for the next phase of your journey. So do expect a phone call from a member of our team tomorrow. If you miss the call, they will send you a text message. Okay, guys, am I ready to log off? How can I log in? So Ismail, what will happen is you will get your login details sent to your email. Sometimes they do go to your junk or your spam. So if it doesn't go to your inbox, then please check your junk or spam. That's a good question. Chioma, I wouldn't want to lie and then say yes, and then you fail. You won't fail, but then I want to be as honest as possible and say probably not. We focus more on the practical elements. Journeys, no, I think the most that we do is 3 installments. Yes. You're welcome, Sampa. So Chioma, I hope that helps. It's a gamble. So if you want to, just bear in mind it's a gamble. Okay, guys, it's time for me to any online class. It's all online. Please